Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays HyperRogue. We have had a lot of success, and now I think my goal is to fill out some of these things that we have part of, but not all of. So let's see, ice diamonds, shards, ice diamonds, shards, ambers, and wine, and I believe that is all of them. The other goal will be to visit some of these lands that we have not spent much time in, and see if we can figure out ways of dealing with them. So, the biggest challenges are going to be the Rose Garden, the Zebra, and the Whirlpool. Those are all lands that I have really struggled with in the past, and lands that I am pretty worried about. And so we're going to take things one step at a time. And I think that first of all we're going to do the slightly easier thing, which is to fill out our mirror shards. And it looks like we have a false prince after us, but we have the Orb of Speed, so we can get away pretty quickly. And we shouldn't have too much trouble here. This is not a land that I have struggled with for quite a long time. And it looks like the Orb of Speed is going to make things even easier for us. And that's 9. I'm wondering if we can kind of follow some of our minions, but no, it looks like we have lost the trail, which is fine. We can just find another crossroads. It won't take us too long, I don't think. Let's see, what's this? This is a Dragon Chasms. That is probably pretty dangerous for us to go into. I mean, we can poke our heads in, but the dragons are getting quite large. And while I do look forward to fighting a large dragon, I don't think that that is the way that I want to spend this episode in particular. We have an ivory tower over there. We have, I was playing around a little bit with the history mode that was added, and I haven't worked out the best way of doing it, but I think that I want to start taking histories of some of these games. Or at least some of these episodes. The problem is it takes a very long time to render, especially if I have a longer episode. But that is something that I have been thinking about, trying to figure out the best way of doing it. It looks like we have a crossroads over here. We still need quite a bit more wine than we have right now. And so I want to see if we can pick up a couple more without too much trouble. Before we head into this crossroads. And one thing that we had been working on, and that we might want to work on once more, is kind of trying to navigate a little bit more carefully, and try and find our way through the vineyard and back to this crossroads. And it looks like we're having a pretty good opportunity here. I'm going to block that off. Unfortunately, it looks like we might not have any access to a Vine Spirit now. I might have cut off our only, or our easiest way of getting that wine over there. But we have quite a few options. I do want to just kind of come over here and make sure, and it looks like we're actually going to get blocked off. There may have been a way of salvaging that, but it didn't seem worth it. And there's wine over here for us to pursue. Have to be careful about these vine beasts, probably more careful than I have been. And we can just do that, and there's nothing through here that I see. It does look like we have one more wine over here that we can get. And that will be the last one that we need. And then we can just make our way back over this way and try to remember where we came from. I believe it was along here. There it is. There is our crossroads for us. So that was pretty successful. It seems like the strategies that I have worked out for the vineyard are serving me pretty well. And so now, let's see, what do we have? We need 2 more amber, 5 more ice diamonds. Looks like we have an opportunity to get ice diamonds right here. The Orb of Ether could end up being useful. Let's see, Orb of Matter, that's actually a pretty useful one. So we'll grab both of those. And head into the Icy Land. And of course, the Icy Land is a land that I am pretty accustomed to. Now that's interesting, that if we use the Orb of Ether to walk through... it ran out, okay. That's fine. But as we walked into those ice walls, they were melting immediately. Which is a good thing to know. That might end up coming in handy at some point in the far future, or it might not, I don't really know. I don't really feel like messing around with the Warped Coast right now. I think that it is a lot of risk for not a huge reward, and it's not a land that I feel... It's once again one of those in-between lands that I talked about, where it's not difficult enough to be worthwhile for the challenge, but it's also not easy enough to be worthwhile, or the orb is not good enough to be worthwhile for the orb. So we are on the lookout for an ocean at this point. And that will finish up kind of the easier portion of this episode, and then we will start to get into the more difficult stuff. And so I'm going to grab a security Orb of Flash and head into, let's see. So I'm scanning around. What do we see that could be worth going for? And I think that the Orb of Speed here will be very useful. And let's see, the Orb of Domination probably won't come into play here. But we can use our Orb of Flash there. Use our Orb of Speed to move around here. So now we are in the Land of Storms. This is a very tricky land, and I actually want to remind myself how this works. Whenever, after you move, there is a connection between a charged and grounded cell, there is a short circuit. All cells on any path connecting a charged and grounded cell without repeated cells or 2 consecutive grounded or charged cells become damaged. Sandstone walls and most creatures are conductive. Great walls are isolators, but lands beyond them count as grounded. Fulgurite, the treasure, is created when you manage to short-circuit a sandstone wall or a rich metal beast. Trolls leave conductive rocks when killed, and metal beasts can only be killed by electricity. Your attacks only stun them or push them away if already stunned. So that is going to be a challenge. So we have charged walls, grounded walls, and let's see, dead troll, storm troll, sandstone wall, grounded wall. So if we kill this guy over here-ish, let's see, then we can't walk through this gap because the discharge would kill us, but this hedgehog warrior will come through and get zapped, and that will zap the sandstone and give us a fulgurite. So there is our first one. And now I want to probably lure this troll over this way. I want to, let's see, make sure that we can construct ourselves. Let's see. Okay, so that's a Yeti. So that is a bit different from the trolls. It's not going to leave a corpse. And looks like this metal beast is not quite going to be able to close this circuit for us. But if we stun it, and let's see, push it from there, then we may be able to... oh dear. That was very nearly dangerous. And we are massively surrounded all of a sudden. And there's a lightning strike gone off. So let's see, I can't connect this, so I need to move up to this beast and stun it. And then I think I need to push it. Oh no! Now, why was that game over? Because my only escape was... I see, because I created a closed circuit. That's why. And my only escape from that circuit was into another place where I would create a circuit. So this is still a land that is pretty difficult, and there's a lot of problems that we're going to have to solve. So, in the next episode, or I guess in the next series, we're going to be continuing to try and learn how to take on the more difficult areas, and hopefully pay a little bit more attention, be a little bit more on top of things, and last a little bit longer. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.